All right, Shabbat Shalom, family. Kind of early today, first time in a long time. First and foremost, want to thank the Most High for another day, for another Shabbat to get in His Word and to stay on the righteous path. Just furthering the Kings of Israel and Judah series, so we can get just some more understanding on the leaders in Israel at that time and what was going on, and many of our leaders were kind of going off into idolatrous ways, going away from the Most High. Some stayed on the path. So today we're just going to be going into Rehoboam and Jeroboam. If you have your list of the kings, you can see the lineage, which side they come from. And today, just thank the Most High to be able to really study up. We've been getting a lot of people on our page on our last video just going crazy about, our knowledge. It's like people need to just read their Bible. We're not bringing out nothing that the Bible's not saying, but we know people have their own thoughts about, maybe it's because the people of the Bible look like us, Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 12. Ecclesiastes 10 and 12. Let's bring that out.
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 10 and verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
The beginning of pride is when one, the beginning of pride is when one despaireth from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
Read that again.
The beginning of pride is when one departed from God, and his heart is turned away from his maker.
So the beginning of pride is when one departed from the Most High God, and his heart is turned away from his maker. So if you turned away from your maker, this is what that is. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 11. Let's start at verse 1.
This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 11 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
But King Solomon loved many strange women.
So King Solomon loved many strange women.
Together with the daughter of Pharaoh, a woman of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. Of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto yours. Unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods.
So they will turn your heart to their gods, meaning you start doing, with the practices that we see our people doing today, going away from the Most High and His Son, right? Keep it going.
Solomon clave unto these in love, and he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines, and his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Ashereth, the goddess of the Zidonians.
Who's Ashereth today? Anybody? Let's represent Ashereth today. The mother, the queen mother of heaven, Ashereth, got many different names. Isis, that Statue of Liberty. They turned Mary into Ashereth, this deity that was worshipped back in ancient times. When you do the history, when you read Jeremiah, Ezekiel, our people fall into it today. The Northern Kingdom especially worshiping who they think is Mary, but it's really just Ashereth and paganism, right? Let's keep it going.
And after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Then did Solomon build an high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Molech, the abomination of the children of Ammon.
Mm-hmm.
And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which had appeared unto him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods. But he kept not that which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my covenant and my statutes, which I have commanded thee, I will surely rend the kingdom from thee.
He will surely rend the kingdom from him.
And will give it to thy servant.
Now, let's jump it down to verse 26.
Verse 26. And Jeroboam the son of Nebat.
So make sure you jot that down. Make sure you on your list of kings, if you want to circle it, highlight it, whatever to help you remember where we're going, okay? Keep it going.
And Jeroboam the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite, and Zeredah, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king. Solomon built Milo and repaired the breaches of the city of David, his father. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. And it came to pass at that time, when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahijah the Shilonite found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 pieces. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee.
So check this out. This is the beginning of the split, right? Going into talking about the split. So what was Solomon sin? We're in chapter 11. What was his sin? We just read it. Come on. Let's keep it going.
But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake,
Mm-hmm.
and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel,
Mm-hmm.
because that they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashtoreth.
Make sure you highlight Ashtoreth, okay? Because a lot of people worshiping Ashtoreth, they had Mary on the tree last week, and they think you wrong for not doing Christmas, right? Let's keep it going.
And have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways, to do that which is right in my eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father.
Mm-hmm.
Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life, for David my servant's sake, whom I chose because he kept my commandments and my statutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand, and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. And unto his son will I give one tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all that thy soul desireth, and shalt be king over Israel. And it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and wilt walk in my ways, and do that is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto thee.
Mm-hmm.
And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled into Egypt, unto Shishak, king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. And the rest of the acts of Solomon and all that he did and his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon? In the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, his father. And Rehoboam, his son, reigned in his stead.
So remember, those names real familiar. Make sure you see the difference between the J and that R, right? So Rehoboam is Solomon's son, and Jeroboam was risen up to get this northern kingdom of Israel. Let's go to the next chapter, starting at verse 1. So this is prophesied that he will be ruling this kingdom. Let's keep it going.
This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 13 and verse 1. And behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord.
Where you at?
You said next chapter? 13?
Chapter 12.
I'm sorry, my bad. Oh, sorry, Salaki. This is the book of 1 Kings, chapter 12, verse 1. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel will come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt.
So he prophesied the rule, so he on the way back. Keep it going.
That they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came, and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father, and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee.
Man, loosen up on us and we'll serve thee right. Just loosen up from the way your dad had us moving, right? Had us working for him in his kingdom. Keep it going.
And he said unto them, Depart ye for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he yet lived, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people? And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. But he forsook the counsel of the old men, which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye that we may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which thy father did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now whereas my father did lay you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father hath chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions.
He said he gonna make it harder, right? Keep it going.
Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the 3rd day.
So he coming to the new king of Judah, right? He coming to Rehoboam. He's coming to King David's son. All right, keep it going.
As the king had appointed, saying, Come to me again the 3rd day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David?
Man, what we got to do with y'all anyway? We the northern kingdom, right?
Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel.
Man, let's get up out of here. He not listening. He don't want to look. We was looking to serve, but we gonna get up out of here.
Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents.
So what does that mean? So Israel departed unto their own tents. When it's talking about Israel, if they're all Israel, what does that mean?
Southern kings leaving. They separated themselves from Judah, basically.
Kind of, yep. The northern kingdom, Israel, they departed from Judah. Let's keep it going.
But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the city of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, whom was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones, that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day.
So look, they said, yeah, your messenger, we're going to get him. So they said it's on, right? Keep it going.
And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called him up. So like that they sent and called him unto the congregation, and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but tribute of Judah only.
The tribe of Judah only.
It's like tribe of Judah only. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam the son of Solomon. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is for me. They hearkened therefore to the word of the Lord, and returned to depart according to the word of the Lord. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim, and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David? If this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem, then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam king of Judah, and they shall kill me and go to Rehoboam king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 claves of gold.
So look, 2 calves
of gold.
So now you got Jeroboam ready to do what we did leaving Egypt. He ready to set up the idols again, right? The 2 golden calves. He ready to do it all over again. Start at verse 28 again.
Whereupon the kings took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Israel.
Look, put the trust in these, O Israel. Put the trust in these idols, right? Keep it going.
Which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. And this thing became a sin.
Who is Dan? Who is Dan? So that's a place, right? Remember, when Israel went to get the land, they divided it by each tribe's name, right? Remember that. Keep it going.
And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made an house of the high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi.
Because why? The Levites are supposed to be the priest. So he just all over the place thinking he could set up things according to his own will instead of the Most High, right? Let's hold that. Let's come back to that. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12 and verse 50.
That's what ultimately led for Dan being cut out, right?
Yeah, and during the time of Dan also set up Micah's graven image too. When you go when you read further back, so that place is always set up for idolatry.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 12 and verse 50. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father, which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother.
So people got to do the will of the Father. People doing their own will. And sometimes people think you not doing the will of the Most High. They in their flesh, jealous, envy, whatever people dealing with. That's why we always talk about the importance of, everybody could get one of those back there too if they want one. That'll be his day. just doing your own will and not really knowing what's the Most High will. Sometimes people just get caught up in the wrong things, making a bad judgment call. You're supposed to judge things are right, according to thus saith the Lord, right? Let's keep that. Let's go to Luke chapter 11 and 18. But we still holding 1 Kings.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring that out.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 11, and verse 18. If Satan also be divided against himself, how shall his kingdom stand?
Yeah, so it's only two. It's only two. You only got two powers, right?
Okay.
Either you with the Most High or you with the devil. People try to find, this certain gray area. And that's just, you got to really be dealing in the spirit. And the way to do that, keeping his commandments, making sure that you got Christ, because it's real easy to fall victim to the traditions of this world, for one, and many different things in your lustful ways of what you want. You have to really know, is this really what the Most High want me to be doing, right? Let's go back to 1 Kings chapter 12. And where we at, verse 32? Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of 1 Kings. This is chapter 12 and verse 32.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made.
So he making his own feast day. He got his own priest, and he got idols up in there. He's setting up a new religion, it sound like, right? Let's keep it going.
He placed in Bethel the priest of the high places which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense.
Let's go to chapter 13 and let's just get verse. Let's get verse 33 and 34. Let's get there for Jeroboam.
This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 13 and verse 31.
33.
33. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but made again of the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places.
Mm-hmm.
And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth.
Destroy it off the face of the earth. That means the Most High is wiping out the whole lineage every time, right? We was going into King Jehu, went into King Jehoshaphat, but he was moving righteous all the way up until the end, right? So it's just all about enduring and keeping the Most High. It's real easy to go off. Moses taking the credit, didn't get to see the promised land. So remember, things written aforetime, written for our learning, to keep us humbled in this world. Like it says, why is earth and ashes so proud? Why is earth and ashes so proud? I mean, people get real puffed up in this world, in this life, and their life's not really that long, and your name is out of the world, and then it's new players in the game, right? So we see that even in here, people still questioning if these people existed. They have a whole land and all these artifacts over there that you can physically touch, and people, those names have been wiped out of the earth as far as the people that don't believe, and that's in ignorance, right? Let's go to chapter 14.
Same book.
Matter of fact, no. Let's go 14 in verse. Let's go 21.
It's the book of 1 Kings chapter 14 and verse 21. And Rehoboam the son of Solomon.
So now we going to the Judite side, right? To the kingdom of Judah, Solomon's son.
And Rehoboam the son of Solomon reigned in Judah Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, and Ammonites. Ammonitis, Salakia. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord.
So now Judah doing evil in the sight of the Lord, the southern kingdom, right? Make sure if you want to write that too on your list of kings. If you want to write on Judah's side, you want to put southern Israel, you want to put northern, if that'll help you, right? Keep it going.
And they provoked him to jealousy with their sins, which they had committed, above all that their fathers had done.
Mm-hmm.
For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree.
Giving the Most High's glory to another. He's against that, right? Keep it going.
And there were also Sodomites in the land.
Sodomites in the land,
And they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel.
Remember, do not the ways of the heathen. When you read Leviticus 18, how the Egyptians and the practices of them, you know, and these things are just, we know, all around us here in Babylon. The Most High is not for this place. Keep it going.
And it came to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
And he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all. And he took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made.
Mm-hmm.
And King Rehoboam made in their stead brazen shields and committed them unto the hands of the chief of the guard, which kept the door of the king's house. And it was so, when the king went into the house of the Lord, that the guard bare them and brought them back into the guard chamber. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam and all that he did, are they not written in the, it's like if they're not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah?
Mm-hmm.
And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days.
So they was warring against each other. Make sure you remember that.
And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was burned with his fathers in the city of David.
Buried. He was buried.
And buried with his fathers in the city of David. And his mother's name was Naamah. And Ammonitis and Abijam, his son, reigned in his stead.
All right. So let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 12. Go to 2 Chronicles chapter 12. Everybody, when you're there, say Khan. There. Okay, let's get chapter 12 and verse 1. Let's start there.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass when Rehoboam had established the kingdom and had strengthened himself, he forsook the law of the Lord.
He what?
He forsook the law of the Lord.
He forsook the law of the Lord.
In all Israel with him. And it came to pass that in the 5th year of King Rehoboam, Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem because they had transgressed against the Lord with 1,200 chariots and with 1,200 chariots and 70,000 horsemen, and the people were without number that came with him out of Egypt. The Lubims and the Sukkims and the Ethiopians.
Hamites, right? Sons of Ham. Keep it going.
And he took the fenced cities which pertained to Judah and came to Jerusalem. Then came Shemaiah the prophet to Rehoboam and to the prince of Judah, to the princes of Judah that were gathered together to Jerusalem because of Shishak, and said unto them, Thus saith the Lord, ye have forsaken me, and therefore have I also left you in the hand of Shishak. Whereupon the princes of Israel and the king humbled themselves, and they said, the Lord is righteous. And when the Lord saw that they humbled themselves, the word of the Lord came to Shemaiah, saying, they have humbled themselves, therefore I will not destroy them, but I will gain them, but I will grant them some deliverance, and my wrath shall not be poured out upon Jerusalem by the hand of Shishak.
Mm-hmm.
Nevertheless, they shall be his servants, that they may know my service and the service of the kingdoms of the countries. So Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem and took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He took all. He carried away also the shields of gold which Solomon had made, instead of which King Rehoboam had made, instead of which King Rehoboam made shields of brass, and committed them to the hands of the chief of the guard that kept the entrance of the king's house. And when the king entered into the house of the Lord, the guard came and fetched them and brought them again into the guard chamber. And when he humbled himself, the wrath of the Lord turned from him, that he would not destroy him altogether. And also in Judah, things went well. So King Rehoboam strengthened himself in Jerusalem and reigned. For Rehoboam was 140 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord had chosen out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there, and his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess. And he did evil because he prepared not his heart to seek the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Now the acts of Rehoboam, first and last, are they not written in the book of Shemaiah the prophet, and of Iddo the seer, concerning genealogies? And there were wars between Rehoboam and Jeroboam continually. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, and Abijah his son reigned in his stead.
What's funny about that, just reading that part, we're going to go to 1 Corinthians chapter 14, but you see two people could be wrong at the same time. So many times people, choose to pick a side, but is it lining up with what the Most High, how he sees it? So sometimes people just want to pick a side on certain things without hearing the conclusion of the matter, right? Let's get verse 40.
1 Corinthians?
1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40.
This is the book, 1 Corinthians chapter 14 and verse 40. Let all things be done decently and in order.
Let all things be done decently and in order. So things the Most High got a certain order. You see Jeroboam doing his own thing, Rehoboam doing their own thing, and they both ended up going out. Got to just do it his way. That's the only way. Especially when you dealing with his heritage and his laws, and you dealing with his son Christ. If you're going to be dealing with him, and that's what we see it this week. It just seems like being in the truth for a while, of course, living in this world, but seems like people just not letting up off this Christmas stuff and this paganism. It's like it's getting worse. The men chasing the pajamas more and more. It's like it's just Merry Christmas, and our people leaving more cookies, and just we try to let them live, but it's just just don't tell me Merry Christmas. Just yesterday, Christmas what's today? The 8th? Yesterday, it's 27. Merry Christmas. Like, come on now. Did you have a good one? Okay. And that's it, but people think that it's of the Lord, and it's not. And they don't care if you show them, if you tell them it's not. If someone was saying, that's really not, and you should do some homework on that, man would have jumped in this truth much faster.
Now I was going to touch on, like you was just saying, you can even tell them, and they still, like he said, won't even go look. Like the Doc was saying, if somebody would have told me before I even came in the truth, I'd have went to go look. Like I usually say, they don't even consider.
Yeah, they don't consider. The word say that.
The word say that.
Let's go. let's end it. We're gonna test. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 11. Hopefully, pray it was edifying on both of the kings of the king of Israel and Judah. Because we see all these names and people kind of want to stay away from them. Oh, that's old. It doesn't matter. But these things written for our learning, because even the rulers kept, going against the will of the Most High. We got to deal in the whole book, right, family? Let's go to Isaiah 11 and start at verse 10.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11 and verse 10. And in that day there should be a root of Jesse, which shall stand for an ensign of the people. To it shall the Gentiles seek, and his rest shall be glorious. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people.
The second time. This is prophetic, and they don't want you reading this stuff, right? What we teaching is not the truth, this and that. So he's going to what? He's going to get his people. He's going to recover them a second time, just like he did leaving Egypt. When we left Egypt, I should say. Keep that going.
Yeah, a remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the island of the sea.
All from the islands of the sea.
And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth.
Four corners of earth, the dispersed of Judah. Keep it going.
The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim.
So there'll be no more warring against each other, no more division amongst each other in the kingdom to come when he brings his people back a second time. Any questions? No? All right, family, let's pray out.